My name's Rodney Mayberry. I am the owner of RM Electrical Contracting, Inc. I've been in business here in San Angelo about 30 years. I've been a master electrician about 45 years. And I got a call from the Small Business Development Center via the governor's office to moderate this event. It occurred to me what a remarkable opportunity myself and these panelists have, because the things that we say will begin to impact the current flow of business activities, not only in this city, but in places across Texas that we're not even aware of. So this is a remarkable opportunity for all of us. So let's start by giving all of yourselves a hand. How about that? Now, we have 4 panelists here, and Dr. Raj and I have been talking about how to pronounce his name, and I've decided to say Dr. Raj. But he is an associate professor at the Norris Vincent College of Business at Angelo State University. He has a PhD in operation management, and he teaches courses both at the undergraduate and the MBA level in the area of operation management and supply chain management. He has over 16 years of teaching experience at universities in Michigan, Wisconsin, and now we are blessed to have him here at Angelo State. He has published research, academic journals, and also presented his research in the area of supply chain management to many annual conferences. Now, when Dr. Raj talks, he's going to talk about some of the main challenges in the area of supply chain. He's going to talk about the reasons why we have supply chain issues and what guys like me and guys like you can do with supply chain issues. And to give you a kind of a heads up, Dr. Raj, I ordered an automatic transfer switch in January, and I just got it in June. And the reason was they couldn't get the parts. So if you're in business, I'm sure you suffer those kinds of issues as well. We're also blessed to have Alma Pedroza with us. She has been in the workforce for 16 years. She's been working for the Concho Valley Workforce Development Board for 2 years. She's married to Gilbert Pedroza, and they have 2 kids. And she's going to talk about workforce solutions that can help employers with recruiting, paying a competitive wage, and how to correct or deal with the workforce issues as they come up. Then we also have Nicole Stevens. She's Dean of the Workforce Development at Howard College here in San Angelo. And as a way of addressing my relationship with her, I am at the end of my 45-year career, and one of the issues that we continue to face as electricians is the lack of qualified personnel. So she and I are working together to develop a program at Howard College where I'll be teaching young high school graduates how to become apprentice electricians. She also has plumbing, air conditioning, construction also. There's a severe need out there for craftsmen, and I'm proud to be working with her. And then finally, we have on the board Sarah Mays. She's a social media coordinator at Media Advantage, which is a local San Angelo advertising company. She's a graduate of Angelo State University. So the university is producing the kinds of people that we need in order to succeed in the business world. She's going to be addressing some social media issues. Now, for guys like me who are older than 35, the media and the net and the web are issues that we're challenged by. But looking at some of the questions that she's going to be dealing with makes me feel comfortable that I could get on the web and advertise. But we're going to start right now with Dr. Raj, and he has about 10 minutes to tell us all of the issues that we're facing as businessmen.
Okay. All right, good morning.
Turn that
Sorry.
mic to you. Yes, go
Okay.
for it.
I'm sorry. Good morning. Thank you for coming in, and I will be sharing mostly related to the supply chain. I believe Rodney Mayberry mentioned I have about 8 to 10 minutes. I'll try to keep it brief. Being a professor, I am used to speaking too many long times, so I could try to keep it brief. Before I begin, I also want to share that I do have more than 10 years of industry experience in the automotive industry. When Desiree Johnson asked me to do the panel session in the area of supply chain management, I was in two minds, actually. In the sense, I do have the expertise in the area of supply chain management. I have done a lot in that, but mostly in the large businesses, but I had not done a lot in the small businesses, but I went back and looked at it. I said, absolutely. I think that some of the challenges of small businesses are a little bit different than what the challenges are for large businesses. So let me very briefly mention when it comes to this, one of the main challenges for supply chain, obviously we have experienced this in the last three and a half years since the pandemic began. And this is not something is going to stop in the near future. It is still going to continue. One of the challenges I would like to mention, you probably experienced, is the supply chain disruptions. The one thing that you probably also understand is when it comes to supply chain, it is not first come, first serve business. It is not like, unlike if a business has 20 parts and you as a small business, you order 10 of them, you may not get it because the way typical other businesses is first come, first serve. But on the other hand, for when it comes to supply chain, the companies that are much larger, that order in larger quantities, they always get the first priority. And that's the unfortunate part of being a small business is that most small businesses don't have the same leverage. And so when you talk about supply chain, I'll keep it very brief. The three main biggest challenges is obviously the supply chain disruptions that you have experienced, and it's kind of an ongoing thing, and it's going to be in the near future as far as this one it goes. The second major challenge you probably also experience is unreliable or very longer lead time. When you place an order, you have no idea when you are actually going to get it, or even if you are going to get it, that's the other challenge. The third thing I would also mention is basically when it comes to the supply chain this is a global recession. Global inflation. When you think about inflation, it is not just that we in U.S. are experiencing this inflation. We are experiencing this is a global inflation. I mean, there are many countries that have inflation that is significantly larger than what we have here. Because of that, the prices of goods and services has gone up. And what we have seen in the last 2 years probably has never happened. I've been in this country for almost 33 years, but I have never seen anything, this kind of inflation. So now coming back to a couple other things I would like to mention. What are the main reasons for these? And then what can small businesses do about it? In terms of, that's what you are here for, right? You want to hear, you don't want to understand the problems, but you want to hear the solution. But I'll very briefly mention, what are the main reasons why we are having these kind of supply chain disruptions. Obviously, you know, this is a global disruption which started with the global pandemic that happened, and then we had the wars, that is Ukraine war, and then we had the backup, the Panama Canal and the other canal that got stuck for a few months and it backed up, all right? And then there are trade wars going on between different countries that is making it much harder to be able to get this one. When you think about supply chain, it's a global in nature. Whether it's a small business or a large business, we always have suppliers and customers located pretty much throughout the globe. And the other thing is the strikes and delays at the ports. Obviously, you may have heard about the strikes that happened in LA airport, which backed up ships for several months. They could not get it. There's a significant delay there. Obviously, the other major challenge is the economy is booming, but there is huge shortage of truck drivers. It's estimated that there are around roughly 800,000 openings that is available, and they can't hire them. And the other thing, because of the delay at the port, some of the ships are so large, they actually have about 18,000 to 24,000 containers that have to be unloaded. It takes significant amount of time. And then anything that Majority of the goods that actually come to this country, roughly more than 80 to 85% comes through the ports. And if the ports get jammed up, we don't have much leverage in there. There is a backlog in manufacturing. Obviously, just like we have shortage of labor here, there are shortage of labor in many different parts of the world too. And we have shortage of materials. Because of the shortage of materials, shortage of labor, we don't have the same manufacturing capacity that companies would love to have, and that's increasing this one. Price of labor has gone up, price of raw materials has gone up, price of shipping has gone up, price of fuel has gone up, everything has gone up, unfortunately. That's making it even hard to make sure that we can get the parts when we need it. When you talk about small businesses are very different. What a retailer needs, or what a manufacturer needs, what a distributor needs, or what a restaurant needs, because there are typical businesses that have a little bit different needs. So I'm going to talk in a little bit general phase, because specific businesses may have different needs. So let me very briefly touch base with what can small businesses do. These are all the issues are there. Excuse me. These are all the issues are there, which we already know. And we also know that when it comes to supply chain, it's not first come, first serve basis. The larger businesses have the resources, the money, they have the ability to get things done compared to small businesses. So what can small businesses do in this kind of situation? So I'm just going to give you a few general ideas. None of these are going to be simple and easy solutions, all right? But I would like to just mention a few things. And if anybody is interested to talk to me in person, I will be more than happy to talk to you. All right, just a few brief things I would like to mention is, one of the things is many of the times is you may have some suppliers that may or may not be able to deliver it on time or when it is. So one option is be able to look at alternative suppliers. I mean, easier said than done, alternative suppliers. And if it's a product manufacturer, there are many websites like Alibaba.com, globalsources.com that actually help you to find these suppliers. It's not very difficult to be able to find alternative suppliers. But if it's a components, there are certain consulting companies that can actually help you. The other thing here is one of the challenges is you have to be able to identify what are some of the most critical components or products that are extremely important for your business. Not every part or every product is going to be important. So you need to be able to identify. Typically, within the inventory, they typically have an ABC analysis where if you can identify what are the most critical components, which are the critical products that are more important. Not every product is the same. Not every component you need is the same. So if you can identify which are the most critical you need it, so that you cannot operate your business without it, so you can identify. So you have the ability. So maybe you may have to consider ordering a little bit more, stock it more, these items. That's an option. I understand it's not a simple, easy option, but that's something that you have to consider to be able to do it. Then also being able to develop better relationship with the suppliers. By able to call them up, maybe I don't know if it is possible, because most companies would pay 30 days. Maybe figure out a way, if there is a way you can pay them earlier, figure out a way, different ways of how you can actually develop relationship with them so that you are in their radar. You're not like just one very small business that you place an order that they'll just put it way down the list. So you want to see that you are someone that they really know, that when there is a shortage of materials, when you order, okay, now you have a better relationship, you have a better chance of getting these products or components that you need. And also, think of investing. I mean, small businesses is very difficult to, in terms of the resources and money, but think about investing in kind of a software solution, whether it's forecasting as well as inventory management. That can, initial investment may be this, but it can have a huge impact in terms of managing your inventory and your forecasting. If you have the ability to forecast a little bit well ahead of time what your demand is going to be and identify where the shortage of supply is, you have better ability to be able to do that. And then also, that also helps you better track the inventory. And the other option is network with other businesses, similar type of businesses, and see if you can combine the orders. so that you have a little bit larger orders when you place, so you have a better chance of getting them on time. And that's an ability to be able to, if you can network and find out similar type of businesses. And also the other thing is be flexible. Maybe you may or may not get the parts or the components on time, but maybe be flexible in terms of, can I do a different products or a different services? That's another option you can think about it. Finally, if not all these things work, you have to accept that there is going to be supply chain disruptions, and then be very open with your customers, saying that these are the challenges that we are facing, and this is what is happening. And we may have to adjust our timings so that you work very closely with your customers. All right, that I just hope I kept it very brief. All right, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me later.
Yeah, we're going to take a break after the panel finishes, and you can approach each one of them and ask them a question that may be specific to your situation. Next, we'll have Alma Pedroza. All right.
Yes, Alma Pedroza, Concho Valley Workforce Development Board. I've been with Workforce for about 16 years. We do serve 13 counties, and if you're a rural county, please ask questions, let me know what your need is. One of the questions was, how can Workforce Solutions help employers with recruiting employees? One is job fairs. We can have job fairs at Workforce Solutions for you, or if you prefer for them to go to your business and have the job fair there, we can do that as well. Also, we have Work in Texas, where we have a lot of customers signed up looking for work. So what we do, once the employer says, hey, I need a waitress, then what we do is we post that job in Work in Texas, and then we'll match what customer is looking for a waitress job and match them to your job. And I know right now a lot of employers are struggling, right? They don't have enough staff. So if you don't have time, we can do that for you. We can also screen resumes. If you say, I don't have time to be going through all those resumes, we can screen the resumes for you, all right? And then just send you the ones that we think that you would be interested in. The other question was, how can you assist an employer to find out if they are paying competitive wages? We can provide you with local labor market information. That's very important for employers. If you say, why am I not keeping my employees, or why is nobody coming back when I interview them and I give them the job, maybe it's your wages. We can help you with that. The other question was, what other programs does Workforce offer employers? One of the ones that we offer is, we offer several programs, okay, but I'm not going to go through them all today. But one of them is the on-the-job training, OJT. The employers benefit from a partial wage reimbursement during the training period. So this is very helpful, because you're not only getting someone to work for you, but you're also, Workforce Solutions can help pay for part of the wages, okay? OJT is only available for new employees. Now, training information must be established prior to the start date. So please contact us before you hire someone, because it's only for new employees. If you hire someone and then come through us, they're not gonna qualify. I will be sitting over there. If you have any more questions, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
Thank you, Ms. Pedroza. In the crafts trade, that OJT feature is remarkable, and I'm going to make it my business to get in contact with local electrical contractors because there are many of them not aware of that program. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Ms. Nicole Stevens. She's Dean of the Workforce Development Center at Howard College.
Thank you. As Rodney said, we've had the pleasure of working together for a little over a year to work on developing an electrical program out at Howard College to help fill the gap in skilled laborers in the electrical field. I'm currently working on a plumbing program as well. We have a building, we were awarded a Lowe's Foundation grant to help us put up a building out at Howard College that will house not only the new program for plumbing, but also the electrical as well. So Rodney will finally have some decent space to do the experiential part of the learning, which is all simulated, where they're actually building and putting together the conduit and the everything else that kind of goes into that, laying things, breaker boxes. Hopefully we can get some new equipment as well to help him out. So that's a big part of what I do. I get the pleasure of doing is working with businesses and industries out in our community here to help fill those training gaps. We can't do it alone, obviously, and so I spend a lot of time looking at data. Where do we have the gaps? What's feasible for us to be able to do? Unfortunately, we can't do it all. We would love to, but space is always an issue, as well as just cost of program development. And so from a small business aspect of it, that's something that Howard College can do is number one, help fill those gaps with the laborers. But as was mentioned, we do have more jobs available than we have laborers. I get phone calls weekly from various industries that are just saying, you know, what are you doing? Or can you create this program? Or can I come talk to your classes, the electrical program, the HVAC program, you name it. Can I come and recruit from them? We welcome that. Come and you can reach out to me. I will put you in contact with that instructor or program chair, and they are always welcome to having individuals come and recruit. I would say that probably a good 90% of our students that are not employed in our programs will have a job before they graduate. But we do also serve a very specific population here in San Angelo, in that most of our students are non-traditional students in the sense that they already have jobs, they have families, they have things that are going on. A lot of our programs do run in the evening to accommodate their work schedule. So a lot of the practicums that are built into the degree plans, they get to do at their own place that they're working, as long as it's in that field that they're training. But we do work a lot with trying to place our students. That's our goal. Our goal is not to just simply educate them, but to actually place them with employment following their training, because that's what we want to see. We'd like to see 100% job placement once they finish. What I will say with getting to work with a lot of small businesses, and on the other side of that, working with a lot of state and federal funded programs and resources, it's really kind of it shocks me how many people I talk to, and they are not aware of the resources that are available at Workforce Solutions or at the Workforce Development Board on the local level. But then, of course, we have the Texas Workforce Commission, as was mentioned by the commissioner, as far as like the skills development funds and the small business development funds. That's something that we can help with as well, and we have helped individuals, companies, small businesses. You can come in. A small business is a business that is considered less than 100 employees. And so you can come in and you can upskill employees that you already have, or you can have those new employees that are considered, the new employees for this particular small business development fund is someone who's been employed less than a year. So you can hire someone and you can bring in training. It's something that you apply for the funding, and you can bring in specialized training to help these individuals learn more. But again, you are investing in your employees to get them the training that you need. And that is also showing them that you care about where they're going in their job. It's not just a job, but you're helping them to see that it's a career and that you care about their training. And so in return, hopefully those employees will see and have value in what they're doing for you and be a good employee. The caveat with that one, which typically scares off some employees or employers, and I understand why, is that upon completion of that training, the employee needs to receive a minimum of a 1% wage increase. Now, why is that? That's hard. I understand. You know, my husband and my father-in-law used to own an electrical contracting business in Las Vegas. And so I understand that sometimes it's hard when you have overhead and it's like, you know, I'm going to increase their wage. Again, it's that investment. You want good employees, then it's that investment in them to incentivize them to stay and to help them receive a prevailing wage that they can raise a family on. And so that is a big part of the small business development funds, as well as some of the other opportunities through the Texas Workforce Commission. The other thing that you can look into as well is apprenticeships. So you can do, it's called a RAP, it's a Registered Apprenticeship Program. That is actually run through the Department of Labor. That's something that I'm working on with a company right now. And there are some avenues that you can get through. It's very different. When I started researching it, it's very different than the traditional apprenticeship programs that I was used to in terms of like electrical and plumbing, where they're 4-year programs and 8,000 hours or more. These registered apprenticeship programs are very different, and there can be a tax incentive for employers who get a registered apprenticeship through the Department of Labor. So that's another way that you can look at it. One last thing that I would like to put a plug in as well for employers who are needing to hire people, because I know it's very hard. Like I said, I hear it in every industry, including the IT world, which I was shocked. I thought if any industry was thriving, it was IT. They are having a hard time as well hiring and keeping people. But one thing that I would encourage businesses to kind of look into is maybe the requirements you are having in terms of who you are hiring. We have very traditional, what became traditional ways of hiring people as far as what we put on our job applications, as far as high school, no high school, degree, no degree. And obviously then we have the felon, the people who are justice impacted. And maybe those are things that can be a little bit flexible in your training, or in your hiring practices. There are a lot of employers and businesses that are looking into having the flexibility of this. Is the job that you're hiring for, does it really require a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree? Or is it something that maybe a certification or certain job skill trainings would be sufficient for them to be able to, get in the door and start in an industry? Is it a job that is absolutely needs to be closed to somebody who's been justice impacted? Or is that something that you can be open to get somebody in and help them? I will say as well that employers who are with the Second Chance program, for those who are justice impacted, there are tax credits for that as well. And so these are just ways that you can maybe widen your net in order to capture some good workforce labor that otherwise typically have some barriers put in their way. And so those are all things that I can definitely have conversations with you about, and I'm happy to answer any of those questions. If I don't directly work with that, I am happy to, put you in contact with somebody that does, or research that and definitely get you pointed in the right direction in any way that will help you in your hiring needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Now, I know we're throwing a lot of information at you guys, and every tidbit can impact and influence the direction that your business is going in. So these panelists would be open to you approaching them and asking questions. If you can't get to them today, there are ways you can get to them through telephone calls, the internet, and other avenues. There are business cards that will be available to you, so if you hear something that piques your interest, don't hesitate to reach out to them. Then finally, we have on the board tonight, this morning, is Sarah Mays, and she's going to be talking to us about social media and advertising. Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Mays. I work with Media Advantage. We are a local advertising agency. We work with small businesses of every size, including plumbing companies, restaurants. So we are really trying to focus on getting your brand out there. And the hardest thing is with supply chain, with workforce problems, why is social media something that you want to put your time and effort into? Not only does social media just build your brand awareness, it can be a valuable asset for you to communicate your brand's values, mission, spirit, and helps build a personal interest into your brand. Engaged followers equals loyal customers, and it's getting people to your business. And it keeps your business of top of mind. By posting, keeping up with your customers, you're keeping your business. Even if you are a plumbing or electrician, those problems don't happen all the time, but it's something that people that like your page, that see your posts, can look back to and know that they can trust this brand. Another thing is having to keep your brand out there, getting them reaching. You're a small business. About 93% of businesses are on Facebook already. So how is that to get your business at front? Consistent branding and building brand recognition helps to build a trust with your followers, staying consistent, so don't go months without posting. I mean, people are constantly on this. You're on Facebook every single day, almost, or I know most of us are. And engaging with your audience and trying to build trust in your brand is something that you can control, and is a practically free way of marketing. It's not costing you an arm and a leg to either create a commercial or get a radio advertisement. It's something that easy as taking a picture and writing a comment and posting. Now, in order to stand out, we do recommend either everybody's seen it on their business page, clicking that little boost button to kind of get not only your audience, but reaching beyond that. And you can do that by boosting or creating ads through the ad center on Facebook, working with different organizations, networking that way. Being able to not only reach your product out there or your service to more people, but get your value there. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, it's maybe a little bit harder. But we also work with like title companies that can build their service and keep people in top of mind. Now, if you're more of like a product base, real estate, clothing stores, you're more want to focus on the more visual side. It's going to be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and showing off what you're selling. And that could be a really quick reel. And that is what we recommend most, is getting videos, because no one's reading long comments anymore. It's everything that they can watch. While more service-based industries like electricians, plumbers, it's showing off your employees. Someone that they can trust, that they can bring into their home, and someone that they know. While food industries, which is a huge industry in San Angelo, it's staying top of mind. People eat every single day, and trying to be top of mind, and just like, oh, what do I want to eat tonight? It's immediately, what did I see today? But with everything going on with your small business, social media is something that you want to keep not on the back burner, but on your front burner to get your business out there. And that would be dedicating even a day a month to creating posts, whether that be pictures, scheduling it out, and using free resources like Hootsuite or Canva in order to have all these posts already scheduled. You can also dedicate maybe 1 hour out of the week just to get something scheduled out for the week. And you can even do that through Facebook itself, just to keep your brand out there, and you don't have to worry about it constantly. Oh, well, I have to post something today. It doesn't mean that you have to post every single day. It's just trying to make sure that your brand is out there and engages customers. So if you have any questions about how to create advertisements or getting your brand more out there and reaching more people, please feel free to ask us. Thank you.
And for those of you who don't think that social media is important, think Amazon. And I want to thank the panelists for the information that they have dispersed this morning. And we're going to take a 10-minute break so that you might approach some of them about questions you might have. And the next panelist will be coming up afterwards. Thank you very much.